The Chevalier was not dead when they found her, but the scavengers had already begun to pick at her body. A cloud of raucous crows lifted when Temeraire's shadow fell over the clearing, and a stoat slunk away into the underbrush, coat white, muzzle red. As he dismounted, Laurence saw its small, hard, shining eyes peering patiently out from beneath the bramble. The French dragon's immense sides were sunken in between her ribs so deeply that each hollow looked like the span of a rope bridge. They swelled out and in with every shallow breath, the movement of her lungs made visible. She did not move her head, but her eye opened a very little. It rolled to look on them, and closed again without any sign of comprehension. A dead man sat in the snow beside her, leaning against her chest and staring blindly forward in the ragged remnants of what had once been the proud red uniform of the Old Guard. He wore epaulets, and the front of his coat was pockmarked with many punctures where medals had once hung, likely sold to whichever Russian peasants would sell him a pig or a chicken for gold and silver. Flotsam from Napoleon's disintegrating Grande Armée, the dragon had most likely been driven by hunger to go too far afield, searching for food, and having spent her final strength could not then catch up the remaining body of her corps. She had come down a day ago. The churned ground beneath her was frozen into solid peaks, and her captain's boots were drifted over with the snow which had fallen yesterday morning. Laurence looked for the sun, descending and only barely shy of the horizon. Every scant hour of daylight now was precious, even every minute. The last corps of Napoleon's army were racing west, trying to escape, and Napoleon himself with them. If they did not catch him before the Berezina River, they would not catch him. He had reinforcements and supply on the other side, dragon reinforcements who would spirit him and his troops safely away. And all this devouring war would have no conclusion, no end. Napoleon would return only a little chastened to the welcoming cradle of France, and raise up another army, and in 2 years there would be another campaign, another slaughter. Another labouring breath pushed out the Chevalier's sides. Breath steamed out of her nostrils, billowing like cannon smoke in the frigid air. Temeraire said, "Can we do nothing for her?" "Let us lay a small fire, Mr. Forthing, if you please," Laurence said. But the Chevalier would not take even water when they melted some snow for her to drink. She was too far gone, if indeed she wished any relief with her captain gone and a living death already upon her. There was only one kindness left to provide. They could not spare powder, but they still had a few iron tent poles with sharpened ends. Laurence rested one against the base of the dragon's skull, and Temeraire set his massive claw upon it and thrust it through with a single stroke. The Chevalier died without a sound. Her sides rose and fell twice more, while the final stillness crept slowly along her enormous body, spasms of muscle and sinew visible beneath the skin.